The little cafe on Maple Street was almost empty that rainy afternoon, the kind of quiet place where people came to hide from the world. Outside, gray clouds hung low over the small town of Cedar Ridge, Oregon, and rain tapped softly against the windows like distant footsteps. Inside, a man in his early 30s sat alone near the corner, stirring a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. His clothes were simple: a faded denim jacket, worn sneakers, and a tired expression that told stories no one had asked to hear. To the world, he looked like just another struggling father trying to get through the day. But behind his quiet smile and humble appearance, he carried a secret that could change everything. The man's name was Nathan Carter, and sitting beside him in a small stroller was his 3-year-old daughter, Hannah. Fast asleep with her tiny hand clutching a stuffed rabbit, Nathan gently brushed a strand of hair from her forehead, his eyes soft with love and exhaustion. Life had not been kind to Nathan in the last few years. After losing his wife in a tragic accident, he had been left alone to raise Hannah, while carrying a grief so heavy it felt like breathing underwater. The world had expected him to fall apart. Instead, he had simply disappeared from the spotlight. But what no one in that cafe knew was that Nathan Carter was once one of the youngest tech entrepreneurs in America. Before the tragedy, he had built a software company in Silicon Valley that sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. Overnight, he had become a millionaire. Yet after losing the person he loved most, the wealth felt meaningless. So Nathan walked away from the business world, moved to a quiet town, and chose a life of simplicity where he could raise his daughter away from flashing cameras and empty congratulations. That afternoon, as rain poured harder outside, the cafe door chimed softly. A young woman stepped in, shaking droplets from her coat. Her name was Olivia Brooks, a nurse who had just finished a double shift at the local hospital. Dark circles rested under her eyes, and the weight of long hours and endless responsibilities seemed to follow her like a shadow. She looked around the nearly full cafe and noticed only one empty chair, the one across from Nathan. She hesitated for a moment before walking over and offering a polite smile. Her voice was gentle, almost apologetic, as she asked if the seat was free. Nathan looked up, surprised but warm, and nodded with a quiet smile. If you believe that kindness and small moments can change lives, take a second to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories like this one. Olivia sat down carefully, placing her bag on the floor. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The cafe smelled of cinnamon and roasted coffee beans, and the soft hum of quiet conversations filled the air. Nathan continued gently rocking the stroller with his foot while Olivia wrapped her hands around a cup of tea she had ordered moments earlier. Life had been just as unkind to Olivia. She had spent most of her 20s caring for others while ignoring her own loneliness. Her parents had passed away years earlier, leaving her with student loans, hospital shifts, and an apartment that felt emptier every night. She often told herself she was too busy for love, but deep down she wondered if life had simply forgotten her. Across the table, Nathan watched Hannah sleeping peacefully. Being a single father was harder than anyone realized. The sleepless nights, the hospital bills, the constant fear of failing the one person who depended on him most, it was overwhelming. But he never complained. He believed that love meant showing up, even when life felt impossible. As the rain continued falling outside, a quiet connection began forming between two strangers who both carried invisible scars. Olivia noticed the stroller and smiled softly at Hannah. Something about the little girl's peaceful face made her heart ache in a way she didn't fully understand. Nathan noticed Olivia's tired eyes and the way she kept glancing at the hospital badge clipped to her jacket. For the first time in a long while, Nathan spoke more than a few words to a stranger. He shared small pieces of his life, how he had moved to Cedar Ridge for a fresh start, how raising Hannah was the most important job he had ever had, and how some days were harder than others. What he didn't share was the truth about his past. He didn't mention the multi-million-dollar company he had once built, the luxury penthouse he had sold, or the bank account that could buy almost anything, because none of that mattered anymore. Weeks passed after that rainy afternoon, and something unexpected began to happen. Nathan and Olivia started seeing each other more often at the cafe. Sometimes it was just a quick hello. Other times they shared coffee while Hannah played with crayons on the table. Olivia slowly became a part of their quiet world. She would bring Hannah small coloring books from the hospital gift shop, and Nathan would bring extra muffins to share. For the first time since his wife's passing, Nathan felt something he thought he had lost forever: hope. But life rarely allows happiness to arrive without testing it first. One evening, Olivia received devastating news. The hospital she worked at was cutting staff due to financial struggles, and her position was among those being eliminated. After years of sacrifice, sleepless nights, and endless dedication, she was suddenly unemployed. The news broke her spirit. When Nathan found out, he saw the same helplessness in her eyes that he had once felt himself. He wanted to help immediately, but he also knew that revealing his wealth might destroy the fragile trust they had built. So instead, he helped quietly. A week later, Olivia received a call from a medical foundation offering her a new nursing position at a children's clinic. The salary was better, the hours kinder, and the opportunity seemed almost too perfect. What she didn't know was that the clinic had just received a large anonymous donation from Nathan. He never told her. Months later, on another rainy afternoon, much like the first day they met, Olivia sat across from Nathan in the same cafe. Hannah giggled beside them, drawing crooked hearts on a napkin. Nathan finally realized something important that day. Money could build companies, but love built families. He took a deep breath and gently told Olivia the truth about who he used to be. For a moment, she simply stared at him, trying to understand why a millionaire had chosen such a simple life. Nathan looked down at Hannah, smiling softly. Because losing everything once had taught him what truly mattered. Tears slowly filled Olivia's eyes, not because he was rich but because he had chosen humility, kindness, and fatherhood over fame and fortune. That was the moment she realized the quiet man in the denim jacket was the strongest person she had ever known. Before we reach the end of this story, if this journey of love, sacrifice, and second chances has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories like this. And here's a special request for you. Before the story ends, comment the word hope below if you believe that life can surprise us with beautiful second chances when we least expect them. Because sometimes the most powerful love stories don't begin with grand gestures or perfect timing. Sometimes they begin with something as simple as a quiet question in a rainy cafe. Is this seat free? And sometimes the person sitting across from you is not just a stranger.